Hey folks, it's that time again for the Holy Comforter Episcopal Church YouTube Bible study. I'm Jimmy Abbott, the priest here at Holy Comforter, and these are some reflections on the gospel passage for this upcoming Sunday, which is Sunday, October 28th. The lesson is from the Gospel of Mark, chapter 10, verses 46 through 52. This is the healing of blind Bartimaeus, son of Timaeus. It's this really awesome story, and I want y'all just to know this is one of my absolute favorite stories in all of the Gospels. So it says that Jesus and his disciples and the crowd following him, it leaves Jericho, and they're on their way to Jerusalem. Remember, this is right before the triumphal entry into Jerusalem for the Passion Week. We should also be thinking... remember the story of the Good Samaritan? That comes from the same setting about a man who goes from Jericho to Jerusalem. So there should be all of these things kind of playing in our mind, especially as we know that Jesus is making his way to Jerusalem to the crucifixion. So they're walking along, and it says a blind beggar was sitting by the roadside whose name was Bartimaeus, son of Timaeus. When he heard that it was Jesus of Nazareth, he began to shout out and say, "Jesus, son of David, have mercy on me." Many sternly ordered him to be quiet, but he cried out even more loudly, "Son of David, have mercy on me." And I kind of wonder, why would they have told the man to stop yelling for Jesus? Was it just he was kind of a distraction, sort of like another beggar? I mean, oh my gosh, like you and I do this, right? I mean, driving down the service road to 45, it's like we see another beggar. Some days our hearts melt for them, and we might offer them some assistance. Some days it's almost like, oh my gosh, like another one. There also probably have been times in our lives where people are crying out to know Jesus. They're crying out to us that they're hurting. They want us to offer a word, maybe some guidance or a prayer, and sometimes, whatever it is, our ego or we're too tired, we just don't want to deal with that, and so we wall off other people, and I think that's kind of what's happening here. Anyway, it says Jesus stood still and said, "Call him here," and they called the blind man, saying to him, "Take heart, get up, he is calling you." Love that. Take heart, get up, he is calling you. You know, sometimes we find ourselves in the place of the disciples, and sometimes we find ourselves in the place of the man crying out to Jesus. And when we do cry out to Jesus, we can take from this that Jesus does hear us, and take heart, get up, he is calling you. Take heart means be courageous, right? The word cardio, comes from the same root as courageous. So take heart. It says, so throwing off his cloak, he sprang up and came to Jesus. Okay, I mean, also, this man is now so full of complete joy. He has taken heart. He's getting up, and in my experience, or at least my perception, is that blind people don't go springing up and running places. But this man being called by Jesus is so just overwhelmed that he has to spring up. It's also a little bit of the sign of a resurrection, isn't it? Like when Jesus will rise again from the dead on Easter Day, a springing up. Well, this man, in a sense, his life has been resurrected, or it's being resurrected in the midst of the story as he goes from the blind man to a man who can see. He now has new life granted to him by Jesus Christ. That is a sign of the resurrection. Jesus said to him, "What do you want me to do for you?" The blind man said to him, "My teacher, let me see again." Jesus said to him, "Go, your faith has made you well." Immediately he regained his sight and followed him on the way. Now that is the crucial part. That the man, Bartimaeus, son of Timaeus, who now has regained his sight, follows Jesus. He doesn't go away. He follows. And where's he following to? He's following to Jerusalem, to the betrayal and the arrest and the crucifixion. This is a real important message, I think, for all of us. That if we really do believe that God has touched our lives, has somehow done something for us that has regained our sight, but has done anything for us, the point is that we now follow him, and we follow him to wherever that may go. And in this case, it's to Golgotha, to Calvary's Hill. It's to the cross, which I think is just so important for us to remember. That this is not a gospel of Jesus has healed you and made you well, and now your life is great and perfect. No, this is Jesus has healed you, Jesus has made you well, and now it is time for you to return all of that back to him, including your own life, including following him to even the cross. So obviously, as you can tell, I just love this story because it has so many elements of the gospel. And remember, it functions, as I mentioned, within the gospel as the transition from the ministry of Jesus to the Passion Week. So it really serves as this important hinge moment. And we can get that Jesus is leaving behind his ministry and entering into his last week. So I pray for all of you who are watching this, that as God has blessed you, God has reached out to you, that you also take heart and get up and follow wherever that may go. Again, thank you all for listening, for watching. I'd love to hear from you. Send me an email, jimmy@holycomforterspring.org, or you can leave a comment in the comment section.